Welcome back! Something has definitely happened in Yvette's office, and I'm not talking about the bloody paper cutter, because we already established that was from Ziggy's murder. I'm talking about all this stuff on the desk. Something happened, but we don't know if it was something nefarious. We also don't know where Yvette is. I'm gonna save here because the game didn't let me in Yvette's room. And I like to save every video. Alright, question is, where is Yvette? Maybe she's just wandering around somewhere? Or maybe not. That wasn't there before.
The subject of this sculpture looks curiously familiar.
Okay. That, is very suspicious.
The sculpture gives off a strong smell of fresh plaster.
Fresh plaster, we did see a bag of plaster in the mammology lab downstairs.
The odd statue feels like it's made of cheap, quick-drying plaster.
Yeah, I have a feeling this is not a sculpture. And I really don't think what the killer was thinking putting this here, because it is incredibly obvious. And it's 3:15. And it's Yvette. Yep, it's Yvette. She has, in fact, bitten the dust, joining so many others in this museum. You might almost call it a museum of the dead. Gee, I wonder if that's why they named the act that. Let's check her out, of course.
Yvette's face doesn't look as good in death as it did in life. Perhaps because her makeup is covered with plaster dust.
Or perhaps because she's dead. This is like the third time we've used a bone. Very versatile item for an adventure game.
There is plaster in all of the openings on Yvette's face. Mouth, nostrils, eyes, ears. She has several scratches on her face, as well as cuts on her lips.
Definite signs of a struggle. Or she was having sex with a Klingon, who knows?
Yvette's face feels stiff from rigor mortis. A bit of plaster dust comes off on your finger when you touch her cold skin. Yvette's hair, formerly full of bounce and shine, is now lifeless and dull. It could use a thorough washing with a good shampoo to get all the plaster dust out of it.
I'm sure it could.
No split ends.
Good for her.
Yvette's formerly soft hair is now stiff, as a result of being plastered to her head.
I don't doubt it.
Yvette's face.
Can I look at her eyes or nose or anything? No, it doesn't look like it.
Yvette's face.
Nor her neck.
The scarf around Yvette's neck looks suspiciously like the hosiery she was wearing on her legs earlier.
Strangulation, perhaps? This is what I want.
The scarf clearly isn't a scarf. It's the silk hosiery Yvette was wearing earlier in the evening. Her neck under the scarf shows red friction burns, as if she was strangled. This makes you wonder if she died during a passionate moment or had simply developed the habit of wearing silk hose around her neck.
I doubt it's the latter.
The scarf around Yvette's neck feels silky where it's not covered with plaster. There is plaster dust all over Yvette's bare, pale skin.
Indeed.
Nice weave in the hardened fabric of the dress.
I was trying to look
There
at
are a few scratches on Yvette's skin, as if she was in a struggle before she died.
I think we've established that.
There are a few... Yvette's bare, plaster-dusted dead flesh feels stiff and cold.
Not surprising.
Yvette's dress doesn't look as good as it did earlier in the evening.
Also not surprising.
Nice weave in the hardened fabric of the dress. The fabric of the dress feels stiff from the plaster.
I doubt she even has pockets, so I don't think that would have achieved anything.
Looks aren't everything.
Oh, can't look at the cloth,
Look,
apparently.
it's Yvette's right hand. Yvette's right hand is plastered.
Yep.
Yvette's right hand is stiff and cold.
And is holding a pair of glasses.
It appears to be a pair of bifocal glasses.
Huh.
There appears to be a fingerprint on one of the lenses of the bifocals, although you have no way to identify it.
Huh. Who wears glasses like this? I don't, off the top of my head, no.
You pick it up and place it in your purse.
But we can take them with us. Might be useful for something, I guess. And the other hand seems to hold more hair fibers.
It's Yvette's left hand. Yvette's left hand is plastered.
They run out of descriptions.
Yvette's left hand is stiff and cold.
George Mandel must have been on vacation when they were writing these particular descriptions.
Red hair. Definitely red hairs. Probably human.
Again, either Steve or O'Reilly or Laura, but that seems unlikely, because I think I would have remembered that if we were there. Plot twist, Laura was the murderer all along.
You pick it up and place it in your purse.
And for inexplainable reasons, we can actually take the hair with us this time, even though we could not take it from the desk. It's kinda weird. Who would have murdered Yvette, though? Steve was the last person we saw with her, and there's red hair, but why would Steve want to do that? At all? Doesn't seem like something he would do. Unless he was, like, afraid that Laura would get too jealous and wanted to make sure that there was no reason for her to be. Seems a bit excessive, but I doubt that. O'Reilly, on the other hand, had not one but two reasons to kill Yvette. He seemed like the jealous type, and if there's anybody in the world you should be jealous of, it is Yvette, since she is honestly kind of a nymphomaniac. And, also, she accused him of stealing the dagger. Which, you know, if that is true, would give him another reason to silence her, I guess. He even said as much as that he would harm her if he found out she'd been sleeping around. Speaking of O'Reilly, isn't this usually the point where he shows up? Not this time. Wonder where everybody is hanging out right now. Well, Ernie's still hanging out here, but then he does not have an awful lot of choice, does he? Wonder what happened to Steve? He was in the room with Yvette last we saw. Then again, he's been pretty good at hiding the entire night, so... Wait. What's that? It's One of Steve's boots, I think. Nobody else here wears boots like that.
A smelly old work boot. The work boot is size 12 triple E.
Triple E? I've never seen that in a shoe size.
You pick it up and place it in your purse.
I believe that is Steve's boot. Don't see who else it could be. Steve and Yvette both lost a shoe for some reason. Is that blood?
There are a few spots of blood on the floor. The blood is red and almost dry. There seems to have been a struggle here.
Okay, well that's interesting because I was going to say that there's two possibilities. Either Steve killed Yvette and this blood was the result of that and he just lost his mood here. Or whoever killed Yvette also maybe was seen by Steve since he was with her and then followed Steve and did something to him as well. And if there was a struggle here, that would seem to indicate that Steve is not the killer, but was in fact himself also in harm's way. Well, I hope he's alright. I mean, he was a bit clueless, but I don't think I want him to die. Where could he be, though? He's obviously not here. Whoever has been taking these bodies is obviously moving them around. Like Dr. Carter's body and the skeleton. Some of them are just being left where they are, though. Although, I guess Ernie was also not murdered here. Ziggy was really the only one that hasn't been moved. And Dr. Carrington. Both of which are kind of stuck where they are. So that's understandable. Oh. Meanwhile, back in Space Quest 12. Sorry, wrong game.
Countess, why are you tied up on my desk? Your face has certainly changed to an attractive pale color, my dear. You seem a little under the weather. Are you okay? Oh dear, you don't look well at all. O'Reilly! You want Mr. O'Reilly? Okay, just wait right here and I'll go get him.
Olympia, are you really that dense?
Hello, Miss Bo. Do you know where Mr. O'Reilly is?
Well, no, not exactly. I assume he's still in the museum.
Well, I'll find him. If you see him first, would you tell him that the Countess is dying on the desk in my office?
The Countess is dying? What's wrong with her?
Well, she's looking rather pale. Her eyes are glazed, and she's not breathing much. I'd guessed she'd been bitten by a snake.
By a snake?
Must you keep repeating everything I say? In any case, I've got to go now.
Well, you seem like a bit calm under what just happened. I'm just gonna save here. No reason. Let's go check in on the Countess. I think we found the snake. I'm sure it won't harm us, right? Yeah. Your dying thought is, venom I ever going to learn? Oh, that was the wrong button. I can't skip this. Okay, I'm sorry about this.
Laura
Man, we haven't seen this for a long time. Anyway, I meant to click restore. That was a stupid mistake. Anyway. Alright, so snake in the office here. Presumably, Olympia snake. It is out of its cage. And presumably, it is responsible for the death of the countess. Although I don't think Olympia herself had anything to do with that. So how can we avoid becoming one of its victims? Well, we have a snake catcher, so we can try that. But that didn't quite work. No, it doesn't look like it's in a spot where we can get at it. So what else could we use? That would work against snakes. So we also have snake oil. That at least gets it to move. Still not really in a good spot though. Let's try that again. One more time. It's cornered now. Let's see if now we can get it when it's stuck in the corner there. Yes. And let's drop that back off in its cage. Indeed. Well, that was a close call. We died twice, so it was more than just a close call, I guess.
The cobra displays one deadly fang. He seems to mean business.
Wait, one deadly fang? What happened to the other one?
You decide that's probably not such a good idea.
Okay, fair enough. Anyway, the countess is here, and she's not looking too well.
Oh!
Okay. That is not good. Doesn't look like she's alive anymore, unlike when Olympia was here.
The countess is looking rather pale. She seems surprised that she died here on Olympia's desk.
Well, that would be pretty surprising, I think.
The countess... Her bloodshot eyes are open and staring into infinity. Her lips have a bluish tint. There are no signs of violence on or around her face or head.
Well, if she was poisoned, like the countess said, that would explain why. Like Olympia said.
Don't touch it. You don't know where it's been. It's the bound and dead body of the Countess Lavinia Waldorf Carlton.
Oh, what the hell? Smelling salt.
The scent of the smelling salts is overpowering at this close range.
Interesting.
Smelling salts. You pick it up and place it in your purse.
They were apparently by her head.
The skin on her hand is as pale as her face, showing minor signs of lividity in the palms.
She did not die very long ago, so that's not surprising.
Her fingernails are clean and unbroken, showing no signs of violence.
Snake must have taken her by surprise.
Don't touch it. You don't know where it's been. It's the
Alright, we've seen that. She is bound.
It's the bound.
Can't really look
It's
at
the bound.
at the ropes, though. And the smelling salt is the only thing you get for magnifying her body, so nothing else there.
The skin on her hand is as pale as her face, showing minor signs of lividity in the palms.
That's the same description as the other hand, so I think it's going to be the
Her
same.
fingernails are clean and unbroken.
Indeed. About her skirt?
It's the bound.
Nope, no separate description.
It's the dead leg of the countess.
Indeed. Oh, what's there?
You detect a trickle of what could prove to be cobra venom. You deem it wise not to touch it when you remember that it's a neurotoxin that causes progressive paralysis leading to respiratory failure. That biology class was useful after all.
It seems so.
A cobra fang is embedded in the countess's swollen ankle.
I think we found our cobra's other teeth. Other tooth. Whatever.
Not a good idea since it's leaking venom.
But I guess we're leaving it where it is.
It's the bound and... It's the bound... The intercom has fallen on the floor.
Yep.
The intercom's case has been cracked in its fall to the floor.
Bunch of papers here too.
The first page of a scientific report.
Probably not very interesting.
A scientific report on the topic of archaeological excavations in Ahwahnee, California.
Okay.
A paper with printed words on it. A scientific paper with the title Social Habits of the Cherrystone Clam.
Okay. Can just see what all these papers
A
are.
thank you note.
Ooh, to who?
It's a thank you note addressed to Dr. Olympia Miklos from Laurie O'Shannon, age 12. Dr. Miklos, thank you for introducing me to the world of bones. Since I met you, I have become a big collector of all kinds of bones. I like bones. As you said, bones are our friends. I even have a human skull I named Charlie. Thank you very much.
Okay. Please don't corrupt our children, Olympia. Thanks.
Looks like an important document. You decide not to read beyond the title, Proceedings of the 20th Annual Conference on Domestids.
That sounds like a fun conference to go to.
Looks like an important document. You decide not to read.
Oh, that's the same paper. There's also something on the floor here. I wanted to say some stuff and something, and I said both at the same time somehow. Kind of hard to tell what it is.
A little bunch of grapes. Chilled. You remember something about grapes being found alongside the victims of Jack the Ripper.
Okay. That's random.
They seem to be ordinary table grapes, nice and ripe.
Can we take them?
You pick it up and place it in your purse.
We can. Wonder who killed the countess. Her last word was O'Reilly. She either wanted him or was telling us that he killed her, which, considering everything else that's been going on, does not seem that unlikely to me. Wonder if Olympia found him. And I hope he didn't kill her too. And it is 4:15 now. Well, I am very curious to see who else is still alive here, and whether or not it really is O'Reilly who is responsible for all these deaths. But I guess we'll have to find that out in the next video.